We're live. It's Wednesday. It's the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. Hope everybody doing good. I hope your gifts went over well. I really do. I hope everybody had a great time making gifts, giving gifts, seeing the big smile on everybody's face when they get something handmade just for them. We have the best craft going. I hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. New Year's, how's the resolutions going? Yeah, I've got like 5 resolution fails already. What are we, 3, 4 days into the new year? Man, one of my resolutions lasted exactly 9 hours. That's that. Man. Okay, well, it's only 361 days to the next time we can give it a shot. Yeah, so I'll just start shooting for next year. How about that, y'all? It's good to see everybody's here. Very cool. Um, that's there was one here. I wanted to bring up right off the bat. James Seckington is with us. God, so many great comments. I almost missed our 3 o'clock because I just want to sit here and read the comments, y'all. Thank you for all these. Carrie, getting close to a full year without coffee or caffeine. Carrie, that is excellent discipline. I wish I could get a little bit of that to rub off on me. So New Year's, we got a whole new year, 2023, all kinds of great stuff. We got some fun stuff to talk about. Let me back up here because again, I've just been reading these. Bridget, you have got your work cut out for you, but also Bridget, sounds like you almost had a catastrophe. Y'all look on the fan page. Bridget's got a little write up there, moving into a new place. I hope you love it. Bridget, I hope you do. But evidently, we had a small flood, and the leather, luckily, miraculously survived. The box is done. We don't care. Boxes can go in the trash. But Bridget, I hope it's okay. But it sounds like you got your work cut out for you. Let's see. Let me jump back up here because Guy Heller, first one in the shop today. Guy, it's good to see your name pop up. Let's see. Lane. Lane. Well, Happy New Year right back to London. Absolutely. Hope y'all had a good New Year's. And this is funny. Where are the Leatherheads? Don Leadner. Where are you Leatherheads? Josh. He died, unfortunately. Yeah, we die and finish. Sounds like the Leathercraft takes a larger commitment than we were hoping for. But Susan M., Rumney, New Hampshire, drizzle rain and then freezing rain tonight. Oh, let me tell you, Buffalo, New York, Pennsylvania, y'all, you were in our prayers. That was awful, and y'all can handle that. That probably put y'all right on the edge of handling it, but we can. It was 10 degrees here one night. I think it got down to 10 degrees here. Our homes just aren't built for that. They just aren't built for that. We've got an industrial air conditioning, HVAC. I understand our HVAC is for like a small office building. It was struggling to keep up. I had the kerosene heaters going, had a good fire going, just so that heater wasn't running constantly. But actually, when I went outside, I've heard of dangerous temperatures and understand that absolutely. But boy, did that bring it home. I went outside. I was out for 3 minutes. I could hear trees popping. Sounded like somebody was hitting a tree with a baseball bat. We're not used to that. Absolutely. But Buffalo, you've been in our prayers. Absolutely. Oh, and everybody across Mississippi, Louisiana, Arkansas, yesterday, bad storms moving through. We got some. Oh, it just poured. In fact, my front yard, we're on like a hill. My front yard slowly turning into my backyard. So now I got to take backyard back to front yard. But anyway, so let's see. Yeah, Guy Heller again. My best wishes to all the community, my Leathercraft family. So happy to be a part of this. And again, the comments come in so fast I can't read them, and sometimes I can't even find them. Um, but like Bridget Benson, Happy New Year, everyone. I wish nothing but happiness, crazy fun adventures, and abundance for everyone. I ditto. You came up with that. But ditto on this side. Bridget, thank you for that, for everybody. Let's see. Susan M. just received a big supply of leather and hardware from Weaver, getting ready to start making goods for the fairs in the spring. Fair season is a coming, isn't it? Who else doing some fairs this year, from little small fairs up to big ones? I'm doing. I don't really do the fairs. I kind of do the shows with Weaver, and we'll talk about that. I only have 2 shows scheduled for this year, but we'll come back around to that. but I'd sure like to get out and do a craft show or two. I miss doing those. It's the camaraderie, with all the vendors at the fair, and you get there early, and somebody's always got coffee going, and you're talking with the folks, and you're setting your beautiful work up, and all through the day, you get to talk to people that come up to your booth and oohs and ahs and the money. And now, the point of a show is, well, okay, there's 2 ways to look at a show. Typically, for me, it's more of the exposure because we're getting in front of people. We're giving them our personality. We're talking to them. They're getting to see our product in real life, right? Touch it, feel it, smell it, which a website, it can't do it. A catalog, it just can't do that. There's no way a catalog or website can do that for us. But the point there of the show is recurring. Now you're going to hear from these people all through the year. They're going to be looking at your website, hopefully buying stuff throughout the year and not just at the fair. But for a lot of smaller folks, the fair, that's where we're going to make some money and come away from that fair with a big smile, maybe a little money in our pocket. But we're also going to figure out, what are people buying? What are they paying for it? We can look at competitors and see who else is at the show with us. What are they making? What are they charging? And we can always, do a little recon out there. Who's selling what? We go through a fair early, see everybody's got all their product laid out. Come through maybe the second morning or midday, the second day, see what those inventories have done. Have they sold a lot of these or a lot of those? Hey, guess what? We've got an idea what is going to sell. If you do a fair for the first time, don't get disappointed. Don't. It happens. It happens to everybody. And I've always heard this, and after doing so many, I forget who I was talking to. No, I don't. I remember who I was talking to, but um, I think I've done over 100 shows. And, a lot of them have been with Weaver, with a larger company, but I've done a lot of them on my own with my little business I used to have. Um, your first year, you're not going to, hopefully you do great. Wouldn't that be wonderful, right? But it's your second year when people see you again. They've been thinking about your product. They should have bought it. We all do that, don't we? We all do that. I saw something. It was one of a kind. Oh, I don't want to spend the money. Oh, I don't need that. It's not. And then 3 months later, I think, I should have bought that. I'll never see it again. I wish I'd bought that. Well, folks kind of have that. So the next time they see you at a show, well, first off, they know you, right? But more, it gives you your second time at a show, it gives you a little more credence that you're not just a fly by night, bouncing around selling what you can, blah, blah, moving on. Well, now you're stable, right? There's a little credence there. So people are more apt to spend money with you. Use that first year as a learning experience. Yep, still going to walk away with a little money and some fun, but use the first show as a learning experience. But also, too, you can kind of gauge, next year I'm not going to do this show. Well, they didn't have advertising there's 1,000 different things. I mean, the weather, we can't control that, but parking and advertising and layout, there's a lot of things that we can control. And we did a show one time, and I'm not going to say where because it was the first time they did that show. It's a good sized show now. Boy, I tell you what, we left. I don't even think we made, in fact, the last night, we made just enough money at this show to either get a room or get dinner. I'm not kidding. These are the things that happen at shows, right? It was small businesses. We had to make the decision. So we went and ate a big Chinese buffet, just stuffed. And went slept in our truck, slept in my truck at a truck stop. Um, there was no advertising. I mean, in that building, if there were 100 vendors, there were 3 people in the aisles. At any given time during the day, you could look down an aisle and see one person. It was awful. Yeah, we said, we're never doing this again. We should have. We should have stuck with the show. We should have stuck because now it's a pretty good sized show. Anyway, rolling on the fairs, they're so fun to do. Even if you just work in your shop on a couple of different items, you can absolutely do a small local craft show. It's not going to cost you a lot of money. Probably need to get some kind of a tent, pop-up tent, maybe a couple of tables. You can get those at Home Depot. I'd say 2 tables, 2 chairs, and a pop-up. And you're pretty much good. You're pretty good. But it's also nice to build, some little displays. That's actually kind of fun. Like if you do earrings, build some kind of cool little displays. There's so much fun involved in a show. Anyway, I'm going to stop on that one. We're going to keep moving here. We're going to talk about some leather. Maybe. We might talk about food. I overdid it. Anybody overdo it over the holidays, right? And I saw a sign somewhere that said, if I have the same waist size after the holidays, that's going to be a Christmas miracle, right? So, man, need to get back on those resolutions, start exercising a little bit. It's on the list. So I can't technically say that New Year's resolution has failed. I'm getting there. I'm just working my way over there. It's a multi-step program. Right there we go. Multi-step program. So anyway, let's see. Guy Heller again. This just pops up. All France awaits the master. Guy, when the master gets here, we'll let you know. How about that? How about that? Let's see. Let me work down. There's so many here. Uh, excuse me. Make sure we come back, right? Make sure we come back. We made that mistake before. Um, and Carrie always got a smile for us. Carrie, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Got the best craft going. Let's enjoy it. Let's have fun with it. Let's laugh and joke and cut up. That's the biggest part. Uh, yeah, Bridget, I've got four cases, not four glasses, four cases of glasses to paint by tomorrow night. Bridget, tall order there. Yeah, Jeremy Johnson. Jeremy, good to see your name pop up. Telling Carrie, great job, and I have to agree on that. In fact, everybody is. I've got a note here from the fan page, y'all. Bless you. Bless you. We've got someone new trying out a little tooling, little iffy. Y'all just coming in with the great comments. Just God bless every one of y'all for doing that. It just for so many reasons. For so many reasons. We'll come back around to that. I hate to get on another rant. Here we are minutes into this, and Chuck gets on another rant. James, bless your heart. Time for the best show around. James, bless you on that. Let's see. Yeah, okay, Dennis Volpe. I'm looking to make a purse for my wife. Nice. Good job on that one. Anyone know a good way to make sure stitching holes line up with punching them? Yeah, there's all kinds of ways you can do this. And I know what you're talking about, Guy, because like if we're doing 2 8 to 9s, to chisel those together is a pain in the butt. It's not going in, it's getting that chisel out without reaming out that hole and making a mess, cussing. Oh, and the biggest part, let me grab a chisel because we got to discuss this one. Okay, so we got a chisel. See who hasn't. Who hasn't done this? Okay, so I always say, when we get our chisel in the leather, well, let's lay our finger down and let's walk it back out so we're not going to ream out our holes. Who's done this? Walk it out and then go right through your thumb or your finger. Don't do that. Okay, mental note to self. Let's don't do that. But anyway, guy, there's a couple ways to do that. Typically for me, like if I'm making a briefcase or a purse, like say I've got separate gussets, I'll actually lay them next to each other, and I'll chisel one, then chisel the second one, just making sure my chisel holes line up. Super easy to do, but also like say if you've got a round gusset, which is in the works, we've got a video coming up. Oh, Ohio travel bag. Oh man, I got a box. Anyway, we'll come back to that. Anyway, like say you're doing a round bottom purse, you can count your stitch holes, and you think, oh God, what a headache. No, actually it's not. Take your chisel, just like 6, 12, 18, 24. You can count 60 holes in about 10 seconds. So yeah, use your chisel to count your holes. Makes all the difference in the world. But also too, you can use your pattern like on a holster, because that's the biggest sticking point. When you bring that around, I'm not going to try to go through 2 8 to 9s and a welt. It's impossible. It's not impossible. The problem is that unless your chisel is straight up and down, if you lean in a little bit, you're going to come right through the edge of your back leather. Project destroyed. Not technically, but in my opinion, kind of sort of. It's that close, right? But anyway, you can lay your chisel like one side of your holster, lay it down on your pattern, and just with your awl, just mark your chisel holes. Flip it, and then mark on the other side. You'll nail it every time. Yeah, couple of ways to do it, Guy. But Guy, great question. Anybody brings up a good question, and anybody that's got a great answer, everybody's benefiting from your knowledge. And we may very well save someone new from making a mistake that they get so frustrated with, they get up and walk away. That's the worst case scenario in leathercraft, is that You get so frustrated, you walk away. It's happened to all of us, but luckily we've come back, right? We've come back because we can make some pretty goofy problems, right? Mistakes, problems, accidents. Oh man. Um, I'm short on the craft fails simply because what are my New Year's resolutions? Oh, I got to clean my shop. And I mean, what a monumental task. My shop, now it's not all leather shop, but my shop here is about 30 by 60 and probably 30 by 40, 30 by 50 is leather. I've got my weaver shop, my office, storage, and then my shop. That's got to be 30 by 50, maybe. Do you believe I vacuumed or swept and or organized every square inch of this shop? Took me 5 straight days. Oh, oh, it is so organized and clean. So I find myself, right, well, because I went back to work yesterday, it started hard, hitting hard. Somewhere around Sunday, I'm standing at like right over here. You can't really see, but this table, I had like a table and an equipment table. Crap magnets, right? Who has to move crap out of the way to work on your project? I'm the king of that hill. I win. I win. So, right, as you work on a project, your work area gets smaller and smaller, smaller. You have to move crap out of the way, right? Okay, got fed up with that because this over here, that's my main table, working on patterns or whatever I'm working on. Well, it gets junked up, right? So, I have a 3 by 8 foot table. Nothing is allowed on that table except for cutting. There's crap all over it. Already, there's stuff on my cutting table. I wish I could blame somebody, right? Yeah. Yeah. Since I work by myself, right? I was joking with somebody one time, and this is when I work for myself. I was joking. I said, the guy I work for is an idiot, and the guy that works for me is a moron. And I saw somebody go, "Oh, that's awful." Until I explained I work for myself, right? Until I explained I'm the only one in the shop. Then it was funny, right? Then it was funny. So, okay. Dennis, great question on that one. Um, Excuse me. I know I start talking too fast and I'm working on a video. It won't go away. I should have done a dagger scabbard. So we're doing the side sewn scabbard. I'm still working on this. I took a week, 11 days off. I took a lot of vacation over the holidays to this, right? It just seems like this. It won't finish. We're sewing right now. We're sewing right now. Then we got to do a little edge work, a little edge treatment, but then we're done. Then we're done. So anyway, I forgot where I was going with that. And my wife says that makes her crazy when I say that. So I'm going to do my best in the new year, new resolution. Don't forget about what you're talking about. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that one's going to stick. All right, so let's see if we can't get let's see, yeah, JR time. Answer got a good answer there. Let's see about the sewing, leather briefcase video. If there isn't a per specific video on the channel, yeah, the briefcase because that's kind of the bigger project where I use the gussets, separate gussets. Um, Guys, see if that one helps. See if that one helps. But yeah, there's a couple easy ways to make sure that happens, and we're not perfect. We're not perfect, but the one thing I like about the flat chisel. Oh, I just happen to have one. Is because if our holes don't line up perfectly, like a diamond chisel, you got to nail it. Those have to be lined up. Whereas with a diamond, you got a little room for error there because that's 1/8 of an inch. So even if you're offset, you're still going to hit a hole. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Mistakes happen. It happens. But that's one of the reasons I like the flat chisels. We got a little room for error there. If our holes don't line up exactly, we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay. Jerry King. Jerry, glad to see your name pop up. And Happy New Year right back to you, Jerry. Absolutely. Uh, yeah, there. Oh, Jeremy Johnson. Autocorrect kills me. I think we can all raise our hand on that one. That I get so frustrated. I get so frustrated. You ever type a text, you read through it, you're like, oh, cool. Send it. Then you just by chance look at it, and there's like 3 misspellings in it. Really? Okay, anyway. Chris Gould is with us. Chris, Good to see your name pop up. I'm glad you're with us. Ah, oh, Susan M. Chuck, is that a new vice on the table? No, in fact, my father-in-law gave me that, and I joke because sometimes father-in-laws, will, when you get, they'll give you a house, or some land. I got a bench vice. I'm winning already. So, hey, Joe, if you're watching, thanks, father-in-law. It's a great gift. Use it all the time. Uh, but no, it's not new. It used to be over there. Now it's on the yeah. Anyway, okay. Let's see, Ron Dowdy. Looks like somebody might be asking about let's see, should be able to saddle stitch a 56-inch belt in about 45 hours. If you're on it, I can typically, if I drill my holes, like we're doing on our side sewn scabbard, I can do about 2 to 2.5 inches a minute. But that's sewing. That's staying on it, keeping going, which can be pretty hard if you're doing like 56 inches. Um, but also too, a help here is start in the middle and sew out. Now we can't hide knots on a belt. That's one of the biggest problems. Technically on the bend back, we can, because that bends back. We could tie a square knot in one of our stitch holes, and that works as well. Um, just to me, I hate trying to sew with 15 feet of thread. It hangs up on everything. It's always catching on something. So typically on longer things, I'll start in the middle and work my way out. Basically, we're doing 4 parts. The bigger point there is that we step away from it for a minute, because that's important. We can step away from it for a minute, do something else in the shop or in the house or in the yard, then come back to it. Prolongs how much time it takes us to sew, but we don't get bogged down. And sewing can be a little tedious, worth it, absolutely worth every minute. But we can get a little bit bogged down on that. But yeah, just on something like that. Oh, on a belt too. Keep this in mind. If you're new and you sew a belt, it's going to do that. Actually, I ought to do that. It's going to do the banana, which is not a technical term. It's just my term. But what happens is, because we're adding tension, that belt is going to bend like a banana. Don't panic. Don't panic. When you sew the other side, it's going to bring it straight. It's going to bring it back to true. So if that happens on scabbards, it happens on belts. Anything that we got to sew a long piece on one side, then the other, it's going to bow out. Don't panic. Yeah. Um, Daniel reaches with us. Daniel, glad to see your name pop up. I'm in sales. Know exactly what you mean. Talk for a living. So nice to sit down, just listen to Chuck talk for a while. There we go. Well, I'll do my best there. And I'm supposed to slow down. Slow down. Take my time. Don't botch the words. Don't forget what I'm talking about. Yeah, okay. Yeah, another New Year's fail, right? Another New Year. We just got so much to talk about. That's it. How cool is that, though? Right? How cool is that? I talk to my folks every night. Um, just call them, check in, say hello, see if they're doing all right. And from time to time, it's like we run out of things to talk about because we just talked 24 hours ago. But in reality, we talk so often that we run out of things to talk about. So actually, that's a good point. That's actually a good point. We talk so much, we don't have anything to talk about. That's staying in touch. That's staying in touch. So let's see. Oh, Josh, Don Lehner, I just made a 70-inch and a 100-inch belt. That's not a belt. Is that a belt? Double wrap? My record for belt is 83 inches. That's the biggest, that's the longest belt I've ever made. And I actually had to splice because I didn't have a piece of leather big enough in my shop. Let's see, Susan M, biggest belt there, 63 inches. Uh, Chris Gould, thanks for chiming in. Know what you mean about a banana belt. Frightened my friend making him a belt. He thought I had ruined it. Yeah, you didn't, right? It just came right back true, and they were happy with the belt, I bet. But Chris, I'm glad you mentioned that. Let's see. Mike Deloach. Yeah, I made one for a friend. He said it wasn't a belt, it was an equator. That's funny. Uh, Spastic geek. Yeah, no kidding. I want to know this too. Let's see. Man, how do I sign up for in-laws that give you a house and land? Evidently, I don't know. So, you know what? If somebody's got the answer to that, please put it up here because let me tell you, this working for a living thing, it cuts right into the middle of my day. Um, yeah, I took the week off to do the shop. When I'm done, I could use another week off. There's some who's a homeowner? Oh crap. Now I got half my front yard and my backyard I got to deal with. Oh, and then figure out how I can figure out and keep that from happening. I don't know. When you get like 3 inches of rain in an hour, it ain't nothing you can do about it. But anyway, okay. Let's see where are we? Oh, Guy Heller, I made a dagger scabbard. Oh, I hope it came out with the traditional. They're so easy to make, you never think about it. Um, oh, Jack Ford. So many wins here, Jack. I'm glad you brought this up. My son was excited to get the belt I made him for solstice. How many wins is that? Have a great time doing it. Your son excited to get it. He's going to love wearing it. Win, win, win. What a great craft. What a great craft. It really is. That's Raymond Perez. You got it right. Yeah, wasting a lot of time at this working for a living thing. Yeah, just a paycheck, right? That's what I always love to ask. Okay, who's here for their health? Who's here for the paycheck? And who wouldn't be here if there wasn't a paycheck involved? Right? Yeah. Let's see. Oh man, Carrie, you're exactly right, Chuck. I'm not technically a homeowner yet. I'm in my great aunt's house. Nice. And it's an old house, and it's like having a job, keeping up with having a house. It's another job, isn't it? When I left my previous employer, rhymes with candy, I took a month off between them and Weaver, which proved to be a financial mistake, all told. But I did not even take a day off. I worked in the yard and the house 30 straight days. Still barely accomplished everything I wanted to. Uh, oh, sang part, sang. Love to see your projects on the fan page. I really do. You've just saying you do some beautiful work and you've got some great comments. Um, let's see. Okay, Chuck, you should make a video of changes, modifications, things that you learned, and your plans going forward from your week of cleaning your shop. I don't know if I can use that many bad words in a video. I just destroyed my left hand. One of these things, they're quality pressed wood. My tabletops, they are heavy. I don't 60, 50, 60 pounds each. One slipped and just grazed, just tore my hand up. And that was like the first night, literally the first night of my great plans to redo everything. Oh man. So I guess can we call that a craft shop fail? And I'm putting makeup all over it because of the video. I was hoping it healed by now, but it haven't. But saying that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Some modifications. You're exactly right. Like I typically I've got pegboard on two walls. So what I've always done is I've always kept my patterns. I've always kept my patterns in these really big baggies. And now, oh, you ought to see the pouch one. I didn't pull that, but it's like that thick. There's got to be 40 patterns in there. Well, it's a great way to store them, but what I've been doing is I mark them and then I just hang them up on a hook on my pegboard. Well, it seems like it was just taking up too much space. It really was. So really now I just decided let's just use a big bin. I've got all my patterns in there separated by style and bagging. And that seems to be working. The only downside is I'm lazy. It's one of my traits. It really is. So from time to time, if I don't want to try to find which baggie is the best, I just put it in the front, knowing that at some point I'm not going to be lazy. I'll pull all that stuff out and I will file it accordingly. Yeah. Let's see how often that happens. But anyway, saying it's a great idea. I'm going to see if I can't write down some of this stuff and maybe that'll help some of us out. Maybe it'll help some of us out. I've got this big shop. On this side, I'm 11 by 35, maybe. I've got like 6 foot, 8 foot, 8 foot. My little wonder, shelves, got plenty of room. Love a big shop, something I've always wanted my whole life. As a leather crafter, we always want a big shop. Oh man, it ain't the rainbow we think it is. Mainly because I have a bigger area to lose stuff. And now it takes me longer to find stuff. Still, a big shop is great. So, oh, Pam Watson, how did the shop cat take the cleaning? Unimpressed. Yeah. Well, we saw that coming, didn't we? Uh, oh, Sam Lee sounds like Sam's going to set up a proper crafting area. Sam, in all honesty, it can be a lot of fun. It really can. The only downside, excuse me, and yeah, I did all this, and then Sunday night, Saturday, somewhere there, got the shop all clean, it's organized. I'm standing at my table thinking, well, what can I make now? I got this big clean shop. Now I don't know what to make. Yeah, quickly quickly answered. But nonetheless, there was a minute or two there I was confused. So anyway, um, oh man, Robert Simmons, bless your heart. Let's see, I've made 5 belts over 2020, 2022. Use stamps. Um, okay, with names and football team. Best move was watching Chuck. Bless his heart. Thank you, Robert, for that. Comments like that really they mean more than you know. They really do. I hope your belts came out beautifully, and I hope you had a great time on them. That's the biggest point. But Robert, thanks for tossing that in there. I appreciate that more than you know. I really do. Um, let's see. Bridget Benson, Chuck, how do you sharpen hole punches? A rat file, a rat tail file, and you can find these at pretty much any hardware store. It's just a round file. That's all it is. And you can find them all kinds of thicknesses, but I'd say something like maybe 1/8 inch, 1/16 of an inch. That way you can sand inside, and then I would strop on the outside of the round end. Typically a round is typically the shear is on the inside, and then you've got your angled cut on the outside. So it's typically pretty easy, but I don't often sharpen. Oh man, like my master tools, I have yet to sharpen any of my English round end and oblongs. Man, they punch almost like the day I bought them. I mean, I'm really impressed with the master tool stuff. But Bridget, see if that helps. Just a rat tail file. See if that helps. Oh yeah, yeah, Daniel Reach, are you still thinking of doing a video on 3D embossing? Oh, I'd like to see that. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Sue Acorn. Sue, bless your heart. It's a good question. How does a person get past the fear of messing up stamping? You don't. Sorry. Sorry to bust your bubble. No, not true. You'll get confident. You'll get comfortable and you'll get confident with it. Just practice. Play with your stamps. Work them together, work them in combinations. Play with them. Try like a border stamp. Drop in a groove line, or you can use like a wing divider and just drop in a border. Work from that border. Eventually, you'll get to a point where you really don't need a border. Now, something like basket weave, you need an anchor line. You got to keep those straight. They look terrible if they're wavy, but just practice with your stamps. You'll see in no time at all, you'll get exceptionally confident. Here's another way to go. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Try with your stamps. Practice before you jump to your main project. Just take a little piece of scrap. This does several things, and I try to do this. I preach this, but I don't always do it myself. But like if I'm going to do a stamp design, take a piece of scrap and do your design on that piece. Why I hesitate here is maybe work it a little bit, play with it a little bit, add another little stamp in there. The point is that you're building your confidence right now to jump over to your main project. So when you do jump over to that project, you're confident, but you've also had a little practice. And I do this with my tooling. I try my best to do this with tooling. Is I don't want to sit down at my tooling table or stamp table and just lay into a new project. I always mess it up. So what I'll do is let's get a little piece before I sit down. Let's get a little piece. Let's work with our swivel knife. 2 minutes. Let's stamp a little bit, like my bevel or my background. Just stamp, maybe make a little bar or a little box, stamp, so that now when I jump over, not only am I confident, but I'm now practiced. I'm not walking into something fresh, haven't tooled in 2 weeks or 2 months, right? We know what we're doing. Yeah, yes and no. It never hurts to practice a little bit before we go to the big show. So see if that helps. I hope that does. I hope that's some good information. Um, but nonetheless, Sue, that was a good question. And thank y'all, everybody, for bringing up good questions. Uh, let's see. Okay, Josh, this one confuses me a little bit. Learning how to properly case leather was key to making the drawstring pouches I now make. Okay, but is drawstring, is it like got two veg and then a softer, like a chrome? I bet, anyway, funny you say that because I keep going through my shop. There's still something I can't find and it's making me bat crap crazy because I want to show y'all. Somewhere in this shop, maybe not, I have a 37-ounce piece of leather. I'm not kidding. It's like that thick. It's not spliced. It's not puffed stuff. It is a 37-ounce piece of leather off the butt of a very big bull. I don't know what happened to it. I've run out of places where it could possibly be. Anyway, the point of that, hey, I didn't forget what I was doing. The point of that is we did a video on casing our leather. Now, prior to that, I didn't case. Impatient. Wet my leather, give it a couple minutes and start stamping, start tooling. It works. It's going to work. But when you case your leather, when you take the time to do that, it takes a little planning ahead. But when you take the time, it is literally night and day difference. Now, on these two pieces, this one's been out and about, so it's light faded a good bit. But you can absolutely tell the difference between a piece of cased leather and how it receives our stamp and simply a piece of leather that we've simply wet. All the difference in the world. And I joke because a lot of times, like our Herman Oak and our Weaver Select, I swear it almost feels like it stamps itself simply because of the quality of the leather. And we took our time to case our leather. Now, if you're not familiar with this, like I said, we'll go over this briefly, very quickly. Casing our leather. What we're going to do is let's take our piece of leather. In fact, let's use this as an example. I'm going to dip this in water. I would say for the count of maybe 8 seconds, maybe 10 seconds, only because I don't want this so totally saturated that it won't dry out, that it takes days to dry out. So I'm going to say about 8 seconds in our water. Some folks say until the bubbles stop, but I almost feel like that's a little bit too long, a little bit too long. It sounds like elves screaming. That's basically what it sounds like. Anyway, let's hold it for about 8 seconds, then pull it out. Now let's set it aside and let's give it about, I might say 45 minutes. Kind of let that excess water wick out. Then let's put this in a baggie. Now, I do it a little bit differently. I've got our pattern sheeting. I'm not going to get up again. Well, I've got our pattern sheeting. So I'll lay it on the bottom because I don't want this laying on a piece of wood or something that's going to draw that water out. So a piece of pattern sheeting or baggie works great. Baggie fine. And then another piece of pattern sheeting on top of that. And then I'll lay a piece of suede over it. It's basically because the suede's got some weight to it. I've got it, right? But also it's going to kind of seal it around the sides and it's going to keep it from light fading because we can leave it in there 4 or 5 days. Now, another point, you can drop just a touch of dish soap or maybe mouthwash in your water. If this is going to have to sit for a while, that's going to keep it from molding. But on about the 5th day, you're going to start to see mold appear. We don't want that. We don't. Now we can clean it off. We can absolutely get that off with a little alcohol. Anyway, back to the casing. So let's put this in our pattern sheeting or our baggie, and let's set that aside for anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. 8 hours is probably going to work. Maybe 6 or 7. The point is we're trying to get that moisture consistent throughout our leather. We're softening up those fibers. Okay, let's pull it out. Now let's leave it out in the air about another 40-45 minutes. Like I said, it's a drawn out process worth every minute. But anyway, let's let it out because at this point, we want it to start to return to its natural color. You'll see it. It's going to start to look like this. But when we feel it, it's definitely moist. Drop a stamp on that. You're not going to believe how easily the leather takes your stamp. You'll see every detail in that stamp base. It is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. We don't have the case, but it's worth the time. It's worth the time. Okay, so we went off on a rant there, but again, great question. Great question. Everybody gets the benefit of your knowledge. Okay, so Vanessa Kitty. Vanessa Kitty is with us. Let's see what we got here. Y'all, JR time. That's an excellent, and in response to Sue, that's a great response. Everyone starts somewhere. We will make an absolute effort to help, and we will. Oh, Sue, we absolutely will. You don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. JR time, that's an excellent saying. That really is, hits it on the nose. Hits it on the nose. Beautiful, y'all. Uh, Carrie keeping us laughing. Let's see. Archie M. Happy New Year. Right back to you, Archie M. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're off to a good start this new year. Uh, oh, and Daniel Reach. Yeah. I've done a few dragons. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, and uh, let's see. Askia Lumini. Lumine. Is that Askia Lumine? Please forgive me if I pronounce your names wrong. To me, that's about the rudest thing you can do to someone. Ah, I hope that's right. But very cool. Enjoy those stamps. All right, so let's see what we've got going here. Yeah, okay. I already been through that page, didn't even realize it. Theme of the week. Okay, the reason we're doing theme of the week, hand sewing, oddly, kind of seems to segue into everything we're talking about today. But hand sewing, for the new folks, just keep this in mind. You don't have to have you don't have to have an expensive sewing machine or I know, right? Okay, we don't need an expensive machine. We don't need electrical. We don't need space. We can hand sew on our kitchen table, and it's gorgeous. In fact, a lot of my personal projects, I'll hand sew these. It can be a little tedious, but it's worth again every minute of it. Funny thing, I don't have anything I hand sewed at hand. The point is, hand sewing can be absolutely beautiful. We don't need equipment. You can hand sew. So our product of the week kind of ties into that. Anyway, just with hand sewing, give it a shot. We've got some great videos. We have great videos. There's a number of great videos on out there on hand sewing. Give it a shot. You're going to love it. It's tedious, but you're going to love it. I think one of the best parts is with a sewing machine, like with the heavier weight sewing machines. I've got a cup. I use it, love it, but I don't feel like I'm not the experienced sewer I should be. I don't feel like I have the control with a machine that I do with my hand sewing. I know exactly where that next stitch is going to land or that chisel. When I'm hand sewing, I know exactly where it's going to land. There's no guesswork. There's no hoping. We know exactly what it's going to look like. So all kinds of pluses. Now I bring that also up because let's see, I'm doing 2 shows this year. So I'm going to do Blade Show here in Atlanta and Sheridan Show, the Sheridan Show in Wyoming. So I'm going to be doing 2 classes. I think I'm doing 2. I haven't settled yet. Need to settle on this. They need this information by Sunday. But I'm either going to do 1 or 2 classes on hand sewing. I sent a list out and said, hey, I can do these classes. I have 4 or 5 things. Stamps. I wanted to do a class on getting creative with our stamp tools. But they wrote back, Cheryl, just love the people at Leathercrafters Journal. Anyway, she wrote back and says, hey, I can't get anybody to do a class on hand sewing. Okay, I'll do a class on hand sewing. So anyway, that's kind of why a lot of this that's on my mind right now is got to teach a class on hand sewing. Well, it's a lot like closures, and if you're not up to speed on this, they asked me to do a class on closures a couple of years back. Like closures, ooh, beetloaf, right? So I sat down and I wrote out all the closures. I came up with like 25 different types of closures. 20 or 25, I can't remember. I'm sure I got the list here somewhere. Blew me away, because I never thought about it. Never really put my thought into it. The hand sewing is starting to be the same way. So I just keep a script list on my documents. And every time I think of something, I'll run over to the computer. I'll write down, okay, we need to talk about this. Thing is almost 3 pages long now of all the things for hand sewing, all the tricks and the tips and the chisels and the threads and how do we do multiple ply? Okay, so I guess this is gonna be the same way. I'm thinking like hand sewing. How do we build a class on this, right? 3 hours of doing this? Yeah, no, not gonna do that to us. So anyway, um, probably 2 classes in Sherman on hand sewing. Uh, oh man, what did I just say? Oh, yeah, you can tell why I didn't zone out. Vanessa Kitty, have smoker on trailer. Really? Brother has pecan wood. Wow, Vanessa, what time should I be there? Yeah, what time should we all be there? It's just 7,500 of us, right? Yeah, if you have a smoker on a trailer, you could probably do 7,500. Uh, oh, Susan M. Oh, yeah, because this boss wants us to bring this up too. Husband and I are planning to visit the new Weaver store. I haven't even been there. I have not even been there. let's see. Let's see this summer for our vacation. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Also, it's a large Amish area. We'll love visiting this. Oh, y'all, if you can make it to Mount Hope, it really is. It's right in the middle of Amish country. Um, all the food. And I'll just mention this because we used to do a show until before COVID. They'll probably start it again. Anyway, big hardware store. They supplied lunch for all the vendors. And I think an Amish school or an Amish church or an Amish caterer did. Anyway, so it's like 3 tables, 3 of these 8-foot tables. Okay. This will give you an idea of what it's like to visit Mount Hope and Berlin. On table 1, spaghetti, bread, and salad. And it was great spaghetti. Oh man, it was. The next 2 tables are pies. 2 tables. And oh, we're not talking these little slices where you can. No, no. It's like a pie this big is 6 slices. It falls. Anyway, oh, and there's something in Amish country. Every time I go, I stop and buy some of this because I'm the connection for friends and family in Atlanta. I'm the white trash connection. Yeah, you heard that right. It's called white trash. My boss actually sent me some. We're all jonesing for it here in Atlanta. All my mom and dad have 2 great friends, John and Ann. He'll buy 5 or 6 bags of this, right? So I always bring home. When I get there, I'll place an order for like 12 or 15 bags, right? And I'll bring it all home and I'll distribute it. What it is, and we're back to food. We're supposed to be talking about leather. Sorry. Should we just skip over what it is and talk about leather? Yeah, no. Well, doesn't that suck, right? Wow, Chuck, you get us all to anyway. White trash. It's it's pretzels, M&Ms, peanuts. Oh, and I can't ever remember the name of this stuff. What's the stuff that comes in the bag? Ooh, that's a big help, Chuck. That we always you have it at Christmas. It's like these little wafer things, and you put stuff on it. Help me out here. Anyway, they put all of this on a tray and they just cover it in white chocolate. Oh man. Oh, anyway, it's called white trash. And anybody I give it to, I always say, that's not that's right. And anyway, so the point of this is if you can get to the Weaver store, the way it's a great store. I mean, you're going to be in heaven right there. You absolutely are. But the rest of the time you're there, you are going to be eating some good food, good restaurants in every direction, great shopping, great shopping. Oh, there's an Amish furniture store there. I can't even afford a chair in that store. Okay, enough. Anyway, y'all got to make it to Berlin. And Mount Hope is just like 5 miles away or 4 miles or something like that. Anyway, anybody get a chance to get there, you're going to have a great weekend. I love to stay the hotel, the Berlin Grand. Giving them a shout out. Absolutely. Great hotel. They keep fresh cookies on the counter. It's like a 4 story. You can see for miles. Oh, okay. Enough food. Let's get back to leather. Let's get back to leather because it's 3:49. Crap. Um, yeah, JR time. Think I need to save some money to take a trip up there. You're exactly right because I do. Oh, Ralph Morrow is with us. Ralph, Let's see what Ralph, Chuck will be teaching hand stitching and culinary tricks. Yeah, I wish. I'm not good in the kitchen. I'm not good in the kitchen. I mean, I can make, I do ribs on the grill. Oh boy, I can do some good grilled ribs. That's kind of it. I can do nachos. Anyway, back to leather. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, we keep getting the food right. Let's see. Um, Classic mocha. Well, first off, I'm glad you're with us, y'all. For any of the new folks, y'all come in and make yourself comfortable because you're now part of a family. It's got like 7,500 of us, and right, notice everybody friendly, helpful, give you good boost and confidence. You're amongst good people. You really are. So come on in and make yourself at home. Let's see, classic mocha. Hi, Chuck. Another question. I'm going to do my best on this. Speaking of sewing, what's a good way to have the correct amount of stitching holes? I always seem to have one or two more punches than needed. Classic mocha. I'm not sure exactly what you're asking on that one. Um, you might have to clarify that just a little bit. I'm it's hard to sometimes a question comes up, and because my mind's on these and the clock and making sure we're okay, all the audio, video, it doesn't leave a lot of processing speed. So I don't really have a lot to begin with. I feel like I'm kind of maxing on both speed and memory, right? So every time I learn something new, it kicks something out, right? Like I can't remember my phone number now, right? Anyway, classic mocha, nonetheless, keep asking those questions. Somebody here will understand that. Or if you clarify a little bit, I'd love to be able to help out. Absolutely. Um, but nonetheless, thanks for jumping in, and I'm glad you're with us. Glad you're with us. Um, oh, they're coming in. I'm sorry, y'all. They're coming in so fast. Yeah, okay. Jeremy Johnson. Sometimes it's leather, sometimes it's leather byproduct food. That's exactly right. Um, Classic mocha. That's making me crazy that I cannot help. That makes me crazy. Um, I'm sorry. Classic mocha. Do this on our website, on the Weaver website. There's just a general email. Email us and put for Chuck. Clarify that a little bit, and I'll see if I can help you out because I'm sure there's an easy answer there, and I'd love to be able to help. Makes me crazy not to be able to help. First off, you took the time to be here. Secondly, you took the time to type in a great question. Nah, that makes me crazy not to be able to help. So email us, um, and I'll do my best to help out because I'm sure there's an easy answer to that. And I'm glad you're asking about sewing because you can really do some beautiful work. I wish I had something close at hand that I've hand sewn because it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful stitch. Oh well. We'll come up with something next time. How about that? And I even had the scabbard I'm working on. And I even put it over. I'm like, well, look at the scabbard. And I'm like, we've already seen that. Why'd you finish the video? Get the video done, get it out there, and then we can all see it. Be a perfect example of some good hand sewing. Anyway, okay. Um, hey Josh, you're right. Maybe we should do that. Um, Want to launch a Chuck Dorsett food page. Yeah, that's not a good idea because I wouldn't be able to put anything up on that either. Y'all, I'm sorry for not putting up more projects on the fan page. It's kind of because y'all see everything I work on. You really do. Um, so let's see. Okay. Oh, Vanessa Kitty, just watch the smoked wings, then deep fry. Oh, Vanessa. Okay, when I visit Weaver, the smoker will be on the trailer. We'll talk. We will talk on that one. So we've got a grand opening. I was going to ask the boss this morning if we've got a firm date yet, but since she hasn't mentioned that, I don't think we do. But y'all, you'll find out the minute I find out. In fact, probably on the fan page, we'll all find out at the same time. So, okay, let's see. Chris Gould, that's funny. And to think I was a farmer for 25 years, milked the cows, eat the meat, and now making items with the leather. Life is good, Chris. Life is good. Thank you for putting that one in there. Let's see. Everybody's helping out too. Okay, good, good. All right, let's do this because we're running out of time. All right, let's see. All the fan page. We got to do this, y'all. Shout outs on the fan page. Now, I kind of fell off the wagon over Christmas. I kind of worked in here and almost didn't look at emails and I almost didn't look at the fan page. Catching up on it, y'all. So if you got some up and you don't see a comment from me, give me a minute. I'll get caught up. But thank you for putting so much on the fan page. It's hard to keep up. Nice. Very nice. I know they just keep going by. Oh, Pam. Oh, nice. Vanessa Kitty. Got some. We're gonna do a stool. I've got a stool, a wooden stool. It's a nice stool. It was a woven seat, gave out 2 decades ago. I still have it because it's always been in my shop thinking, we're gonna do a nice tooled seat on this. That's on the list of projects. All right, but let me get back here because we got so much to talk about. Now I am gonna talk fast because we got 4 minutes. Ron Stearns. He's got some beautiful rifle slings. Ron, I would be proud to wear one of those. Gary Scott is just jamming on the Bible covers, and they are absolutely beautiful. He talks about making mistakes, hallmark of handmade. Absolutely. But also mentioned, right, Gary, we'll see all of our own mistakes. Chances are nobody else will ever see them. Let's see, Tim, and I hope I'm going to say your name right. Tim Dudewit, first time tooling. And I wanted to bring this up. Tim, first off, you're doing a good job. Just keep working on it. But also, thanks to everybody that's right there giving comments to Tim on his page. Make Tim feel great. Make me feel great. Y'all are great. Thank you for so many great comments and for boosting people's confidence and giving them some great oohs and ahs. It's just worth its weight in gold. Y'all, thank you for that. Um, let's see, Paul Isink, Buffalo Skull, Bolo Tie, and Manta Ray keychains. Paul, I love your keychains. I love the Manta Ray keychains. So out of the box. So out of the box, and they look good. And Cindy Jacqueline. I brought this one up, but Cindy's got a bag there. She's done some floral and she's painted in the turquoise. One of my favorite combinations is a brown. It's like the light brown Pro and the turquoise Angelus. Absolutely beautiful. I keep looking back at that one. Cindy, great job on that one. And actually, that was a piece to go with another piece. Oh, so anyway, on that one. All right, so let's see. Ideas for videos. Drop them in here. Y'all drop them in here. I was just gonna bring this up because I've got a list. I've got a list of just ideas, and then I've got a board, one of these big dry erase boards in my set on my over there that's got 35 project ideas. These are on deck. These are the ones that are up next. 35 of them. We need 2 of me. 2 of me would be nice because let me tell you, trying to get one of these out every week, absolutely stressful. Not stressful in any bad way, just like on the scabbard. Doing a project video where let's go all in. Let's stamp it. Let's case it. Let's hand sew it. We're gonna add crap. If it takes me 6 days to do a video, now I'm behind. I'm already behind. I'm starting to rush it. Geez, now I got to catch up again. And it's hard to keep these coming out every Friday. It's a joy. It's a joy to do it. It's a joy to do it. It's just hard. It's just hard. But anyway, okay, 3:59. Crap, we're gonna run a little bit long. A little bit long. All right, notes from the boss, because I can't shut up. That's a problem with my videos. That's why they're 35. This video on the Side Zone Scabbard, I'm at like 45 minutes and we ain't done yet. Anyway, okay, excuse me. Let's get rolling here. All right. News from the boss. Right now, sorry. Yeah, start to get a little hoarse this time of day. I shot all through the morning, so I talked all morning. Anyway, right now, we have 10% off on all hand stitching supplies. 10% off. Now's the time to get that Ritza thread. With promo code STITCH10, STITCH10. Let's see, right now we have 10% off all kits. I love the kits. I love the kits. We've talked about this. You get a kit, you get a project, you also get a pattern. Absolutely. So let's see. And Happy New Year to everybody from everybody at Weaver. Absolutely. I want to wish everyone a new year full of new projects, challenges, and skills. That's good sentiment there. Absolutely. Okay, let's see. Tool leather product of the week. All right, tying it in, right? Okay, but there's a little tip here for a lot of new folks. Okay, Ritza threads. The biggest part about this, for so long, I've been at leather for 40 years. The biggest point here is that for 30 of those years, we had 4 colors and 2 weights of thread. We had black, brown, beige, and white. Blah, blah. Now, my favorite color is white. So I think we have now 18 colors, and they're absolutely strikingly beautiful colors. This is not a spun thread. It's a woven thread. Now, if you've ever sewn with some of the cheap craft store big, thick thread, and you have to keep wiping the wax off of it, not the issue here. These are absolutely perfect. Not only do we have 18 colors, 4 weights, 0.6, 0.8, 1.1, and 1.2 millimeter. So therefore, okay, here's the tip. Here's the tip for new folks. Go ahead at some point and buy one of the big spools, because like I use the white. I use white on almost everything. So if you buy the big spool, that's the most efficient way. The best part of that, you've always got your thread in shop ready to go. We don't have to wait for something to get in. So pick your 1 or 2 favorite colors that you like to work with. Go ahead and get your 500 millimeter spools. Keep those in your shop, and you never run out of thread. So, okay. Let's see. All right, we've got that 402. Y'all, I feel like I'm working into your time now. Anyway, okay, so that was a quick hour. We still haven't talked about some stuff. Okay, here is basketball and baseball leather. Right there. Salmon leather. How about that? Oh, we got to talk about this. Ohio travel bag. Look at that box of stuff. Oh, there we are. Clips, right, for our suspenders. Oh, tug clasp, spring clasp, boot hooks. We have boot hooks now. Oh, the swing clasps. Oh, look at those. Multiple sizes, finishes. Boot clips. And they're not the clip where you've got to try to set the rivet underneath. Nope. I don't know if we can see it. Set the rivet out in the open. Heavy duty boot clips. Diamond spots. One of my favorites. Diamond spots. Conchos. Oh. I can't wait. Oh. That's a whole box of projects. Also, hair cell tool. I've been waiting for this for 7.5 years. We've got one. Going to do a video on using it. Then we're going to do a video on my all-time favorite project. We're going to do a belt, a filigree feather belt. I tell you what, I've never gotten more compliments on a project in my life. So we're going to make one of those. Y'all, we are going to wrap it up for this week. Oh, and I got my first rivet setter. Literally, I still have my first rivet setter. All right, so we'll talk more about this next week because I kind of, yeah, right. Anyway, okay. All right, y'all. Got some great answers coming in here. Everybody helping out. From me, thank you. Absolutely. For me alone, thank you. But for everybody here, thanks for sharing your knowledge, sharing your fails, so maybe we can avoid those mistakes. What a great place. And again, I'd be happy just to sit here and watch y'all talk to each other because I'm picking up great tricks and tips as well. Got to be careful saying tricks and tips because if you get that confused, we got a problem, right? Anyway, all right, y'all. So everybody, it's a new year. I hope you have some great projects on your table. Hope you're working on something fun. We got the best craft ever. Love spending this time with y'all. And right there, proof. There's no other hour in my week that goes as fast as this one. So, love y'all more than you know. Thanks for everything. Great questions, great comments. We'll get together 2 weeks from today and we're going to talk about some stuff. We'll see if I can't get a bunch of stuff to talk about. And I'll do my best not to talk so long that we don't get to talk about it. We've met, so probably not a surprise. All right, y'all. Well, have a great 2 weeks. Have a great weekend, a great evening. Thank you, each and every one, for being here and for making this what it is. It's an absolute pleasure, y'all. So have a great evening. Second half of your weekend. Love y'all. Good luck with your projects. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Bye, y'all.